it's hard for people to understand the best way to work with me. So that's why we booked the focus call. But that's why I have to get my foundations sorted out again. I've got to get my foundations working so that they are what everybody needs, so that my foundations are supportive of you, of the mentee. Because if my foundations are there, able to support you and myself, then we're both on a win-win, aren't we? Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, and practitioners, responding directly to the needs of a practicing natural therapist. With interviews, herbal discussions, something business, something clinical, you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated and practice. So thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for our episodes. If you'd like more support, get in contact, and I look forward to working with you soon. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the bite-sized podcast. How the devil are you? So today, all this week and all last week, I have been really working on my foundations, on the basics of my business, because it's the beginning of the year, isn't it? And at the beginning of the year, we really need to take stock. We need to take stock coming up to the end of the fourth quarter, so we're ready for the new year. But I also think things change over the summertime or wintertime, wherever you are. But here it's over the summertime. Things just change. How much money comes in for me is always lower over the summertime. And I budget for that towards the end of the year because I'm getting ready for my slower time. But things change as well. My mindset changes. I get ideas over the summer when I think, I could be doing that. And at the moment, I'm in a really explosive phase of ideas for the academy. And so I've really gone back to basics. And so what I want to talk to you about is going back to basics, to your foundations. When we think about our foundations, or we think about all sorts of different things, don't we? Different things. The word foundation, we've been doing some building work, so the word foundation jumps straight to mind as the foundations of a building. And when we think of those foundations, we think of them as the base, is what's holding up the building, holding up our business. And what is holding your business? Is it your passion? Is it your insight? Is it your skill set? What is holding up your foundations? Is it that you're chasing your tail? Is it that you don't really know where you're going or what you're doing? You feel a little bit out of sorts. You're a bit worried. So at the beginning of every year, I look at my foundations. I look at my budget. I look at my Google My Business. I look at my website. I'm actually changing the platform that I'm using. I'm moving from Podia to Simplero because I'm trying to streamline everything into one system that works that bit better for me. So here I am streamlining. I'm having to do quite a bit more work at the moment because I'm moving everything over. But at the same time, that is giving me my mojo back. It's rejuvenating me. It's making me think of how can I run things? How can I do things to support my mentees even more, especially those in the academy? And so making sure that right at the beginning, we are thinking about our foundation. So what is your budget doing? How are people finding you? When they find you, how do they see you? What are they seeing when they see you? We do website checks in the academy. So we look at everybody's websites and we go through and talk about them. What is your visibility like for people that do find you? So it might be that you're really small. You've only just started out. No one's really finding you as yet. So we make sure that you're in all the places in the academy. That's part of the foundations. It's part of working together to create that foundation so that then we can move from that foundation into the next stage. So when we think about what's going on in the next stage, what about our branding, our backstory, all of the things that build our business? But we need to do it in a systematized way. So we're not just flitting from one bright, shiny object to another, as people say. And we've got to know that we're building up this business, but at the same time, we're learning how to look after our clients, how to communicate and connect with our clients. So in April, we're going to be in the academy, we're going to be having more time spent on scripting and how we talk to the clients and following up with the clients and all of that paperwork stuff that's involved with the client. Because I know people are on holiday, right? It's April, it's Easter, and we have a private podcast in the academy as well. So a lot of that content is going to be recorded audible so that people can, even when you're on holiday, you listen to podcasts. When you're on holiday, you listen to things. So there's going to be more voice recording. That's the word, what I'm doing now on a podcast. There's going to be more voice recording so that people can be listening to it at random times going, oh yeah, I say that. When we're talking to our clients and we're motivating our clients, there's a lot of language in there that we learn through audible message from others because these are the things we're taking on. So I'm going to be using a different education system in April so that people who are on their holidays don't feel pressured to be at work, but are still learning, well, really via osmosis. Did you hear the tinkle of the bell and the rub of the cat against the leg, which is why I suddenly lost my train of thought. And along with those scripts, we're going to be talking about letters and templates and packaging and pricing. I say to people, do you do part payments for your clients? This is jumping ahead, totally changing tack. But at the same time, it's learning by osmosis. This is where I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to Steph Taylor's podcast, and she was saying with packaging, you put the price up for a longer package if someone's paying over time. And you look at it and you think, oh, why is it so much more? Why is it so much more? And I've always think to myself, well, it's all to do with the fact that if somebody defaults on their payment, you've got to chase them up. It's your time that's being used. But she also said, you know what? If somebody put it on their credit card, they wouldn't even bat an eyelid that they're paying interest on that to be able to get that item now or to be able to follow up that item now rather than waiting for it. And so when we think about our foundations and how we set things up, we also have to look at, well, how do banks do it? How does big business do it? I get my electricity bill and it says if you don't pay on time, you go to 10% on top. And so we've got to have our foundations really sorted, as well as the way we speak to our clients and as well as what they see when they're coming in and what they understand by what they're seeing and whether they connect with it, because there's often this misconnection. So my websites currently, I think they're great, but they don't connect as well as they should. They don't really explain the academy very well, because verbally I explain the academy very well, but in the written word, I don't explain it as well. So when people ring me and have a focus call, I get them to understand the academy is about co-working together. It's about checking on your systems. It's about making sure that you have the community and we're able to all get together and help you and support you create that business because you get one-to-ones with me. And now we're introducing mastermind days because we used to have mastermind days. They're absolutely amazing. And I stopped doing them. I'm not actually sure why I stopped doing them. No idea. But the mastermind days are amazing. And I'm reintroducing those because I feel that people need this mojo boost, this real connection and time with me. And I'm making sure that these foundations are in place. Like rather than using my Acuity calendar for everyone, I'm going over to Zoom calendar. So everybody can download, they can register for the Zooms, and then it comes up on their calendar for them. It's going to be much easier than the way Acuity does it, slightly differently, and you get your email reminders and things like that. So hopefully with some of these changes in my foundations, I'm going to make it easier for the people in my group, in my academy, for the people in my graduate mastery program and in my next level clinical Mondays. Because the clinical Mondays, they're mastermind days. The clinical Mondays, pretty much everybody's masterminding their clients on the clinical Mondays. And these are all sorts of things get talked about on Clinical Monday, but they've all got access to the academy. So they've all got access to those foundations. They're all working on their foundations as well as talking about their clients because they've got clients, enough clients to want to talk about them. I have all of these ways of working with me, but it's hard for people to understand the best way to work with me. So that's why we booked the focus call. But that's why I have to get my foundations sorted out again. I've got to get my foundations working so that they are what everybody needs, so that my foundations are supportive of you, of the mentee. Because if my foundations are there, able to support you and myself, then we're both on a win-win, aren't we? So today's task, should you choose to accept it, this recording will not self-destruct in 20 seconds or whatever it was in Mission Impossible. Your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is A, join the academy. That's a no-brainer. But if you choose not to join the academy, to go and check your foundations. Go and have a look at the baseline stuff. What does the website look like to somebody else? I always talk about coming into your office and sitting in your client's seat to look and see what they see. And the same thing is with your foundations. Look at it with fresh eyes. Look at it on someone else's computer. If you work online, what do they see behind you? At the moment, off to my right, there's my drink bottle and my phone is edging into view. And, normally I've cleared these things away. Really thirsty today. It's very hot here. So the drink bottle is totally next to my hand. But what are people seeing? Seeing a drink bottle, seeing a phone, big deal. But what are people seeing? Are they seeing your mess when they sit down in that seat opposite you or on that other side of the computer? Is there a light behind you, a window that is really annoying for them to look at because they can't see your face? These are our foundations. And I really want you, it's the beginning of the year, to really look at those foundations. There's budget spreadsheets and everything in the academy. There's all of our paperwork in there. There's everything, and there's me, and there are a lot, and there's now mastermind days as well, and proper calendars. So lots in there. So I'm going to leave it there today because, of course, it is the bite-sized podcast. So it's got to be a little bit bite-sized, doesn't it? I do hope you're having a really good day. And I really want you to think, what are my foundations? How can I improve my foundations? How can Geraldine help me improve my foundations? So I hope you have a good one. And I look forward to catching up with you on the next one. See you soon. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.